We see diamonds have long been symbolized as, luxury, romance, and lasting value. But the global diamond market is facing new dynamics, from the rise of, synthetic alternatives to producer nations, seeking greater control. The industry is at a turning point, and its place as a store of wealth is being, questioned. This time, let's talk to Toju Megasin now, as analyst, financial directors company. Great to have you, Toju. So, with the synthetic diamonds becoming more affordable and ethically appealing, how do you see their growing acceptance, affecting the price and supply, of natural diamonds?
Good afternoon, Adi. Thanks for having me. Yes, in recent time, we've seen a growth in acceptance of synthetic diamonds, otherwise known as lab-grown diamonds. I'd say actually 85% cheaper than natural diamonds, with their prices ranging between $700 to $1,650 per carat. So this has obviously attributed to a 15% reduction in the price of natural diamonds over time. Sorry, excuse me. But yes, so for more context, in past year, in 2024, 50% of engagement rings in the US that were purchased were actually synthetic diamonds. So obviously, for that being said, like compared to 2018, that percentage was actually 2%. So obviously the drastic increase you can imagine was a lot. That being said as well, I would expect to see an increase in the supply of synthetic diamonds, as they're actually more scalable in production. And on the other hand, I expect to see a further decline in the price of natural diamonds due to oversupply.
All right, so we see Botswana and Angola negotiating for greater influence over the company, the Bears, challenging its historic dominance. What impact could this shift in, control, have on the global diamond market and, potential, monopolistic risk?
Yeah, so this break in control, I feel, would bring about more transparency and bring about a fair revenue for producers. Alongside this, I feel a greater producer influence would lead to more and would encourage more sustainable and ethical practices that align with the nation itself. So this would lead to governments. So this would lead to, I would feel like that practices would lead to. So this would lead to greater. I just lost my. This would lead to greater practices and ethical practices in general. And lastly, I'd like to say that I feel like there's a growing trend within African countries whereby nations are feeling they can take full and more advantage of the natural resources value rather than just being passive suppliers to international orders or international.
All right, Toju Megasin, thank you so much. We'll keep tracking how it all plays out in that global diamond trade there. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, let's get a check.